Listen up, recruits! I'm Gunnery Sergeant Felix Lubezki, host of SL Tonight, delivering EC war stories straight from the front lines of fear. Dive into twisted battlefield tales where heroes meet horror, soldiers battling unimaginable foes, betrayed comrades, striking shadows, and costly victories. Inspired by classic EC comics, each episode drags you into terrorist trenches with gut-punching twists. Got the guts? Stick around. In war, survival's no guarantee. Fall in for tonight's tale.
Okay, Marines! We'll have to clear that hill! Depth is critical. We're taking on water. Captain, starboard hull is compromised. Sonar contact closing fast. Evasive maneuvers now!
Listen up, maggots! This is Felix Lubezki on SL Tonight. And tonight we're hitting the front lines with EC Comics' debut war blast from Frontline Combat issue number 1, dropping in July-August 1951. No glory, no bull, just the brutal truth from Harvey Kurtzman, Jack Davis, Russ Heath, and the battalion. If you think enemies are faceless, these stories will humanize the hell out of them. Lock and load, let's read. The date is December 1st, 1950. After sucking UN troops into northeastern Korea, the Chinese army strikes, attempting to cut off the Republic of Korea's capital and 3rd Divisions, the United States 7th Division, and the 1st U.S. Marine Division. And brother, if you have any idea that Marines are superhuman, forget it. When their supplies are cut off, and when they're outnumbered, Marines retreat. Gentlemen, we must now abandon the Changyang Reservoir. We are surrounded and must fight our way back to the coast. Ahead is the road back to the port of Hungham. Ahead might well be the bloodiest adventure in Marine history. If your units are ready, gentlemen, we will proceed. First squad, 2nd platoon, let's go! Let's go, Ferranda. You're holding up the war. Randy, you sad sack, you still carrying around that bottle of Chianti? I'll say, I almost forgot it. My folks sent me this bottle of wine for Christmas, and I'm going to drink it for Christmas. Come on, Tony, pass it around. We could stand a little glow. I don't. It sure is cold. I wish I was in Miami right now, but this bottle is for Christmas, and I want you grubhands to lay off. Everybody set? Okay, convoy, let's roll. Here I am, Private Harold Parks, BAR man, 1st Squad, 2nd Platoon, a million miles from home. Look at Toady Ferranda over there. Always joking, even though we're surrounded on 3 sides. Wonder if he'll ever get to open that bottle on Christmas. Wonder if anyone will get to celebrate. Crack! Rifle fire! Tony's hit! Grab him before he falls! Crack! Crash! Take cover, men! Crack, 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 crack! I got Farangda. Grab Kelly and let's get him into the ditch. Tony's done for. Guess he won't be needing his bottle of Chianti then. They're up there on the hill. What happens now? Just sit tight and pray a hand grenade don't come bouncing into your lap. Sergeant, radio ahead for air support. Lieutenant, get a couple of mortars on that hill. Well, Private Parks, BAR man, you're still a long, long way from home. Where are those matches? Hey, my mail. I clean forgot to open my mail. Letters from Jeannie and Mom. Mom says she knitted me socks to keep me warm. Haha. And Jeannie sent a snapshot. Gee, money, how I wish I was back home right now. It's a funny thing. While I was home, I had my troubles. Rough time getting a job. Didn't want to join Pop's gas station business. I even had my quarrels with Jeannie. Yet compared to this, that was paradise. And I'd trade my last GI nickel to be a B8. Gyrenes of the 1st Squad, 2nd Platoon. I have been informed it shall be our glorious duty to clean up the hill of which their Air Force is now softening up. Let's go, you sad sacks. Oh, my aching back. Doesn't seem to be any life up there. Hey, Parks, fire a few bursts up there with that gizmo. Oof, what a mess. That napalm fire jelly bomb sure stopped these bushwhacking bums. There's a signal. The ridge must be cleared. Let's get rolling again. Now the vehicles can move once more. All kinds of vehicles, carrying all kinds of soldiers. Marines of the 1st Division, Army men of the 1st Division, South Koreans of the 3rd and Capital Divisions. I guess us Marines are not alone. The British are helping on our left flank. Englishmen, Australians, South Africans, Dutchmen, Greeks, Turks, Siamese. Parks, quit dreaming and work that BAR. The Chinese are counterattacking. Crack! Hundreds of them swarming up the hill. Pour it on them. Blam, blam, blam. Crack, crack. Crack, crack, crack. Crack, crack, crack. Grenade them. I'll grenade them. That's right. Roll them. Roll them right down the hill. Come on. Blam, 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 blam. We're running low on ammo and they're still coming. Sergeant, look. Less of the convoys going by. Let's pull out before we're left flat. Huh, Sarge? Well, we'll be taken care of. Don't worry. Come on, boys. Let's make it real hot for a minute. Now let's get out of here. Go ahead, fellas. I'll cover you with one more burst. Come on, Parks. Bing, 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 bing. Parks is hit. I told him to come on. Quick, grab his feet. Oh, don't move me. Come on, kid. We gotta move fast. No, don't move me. I think I'm finished. Can't take the pain when you move me. Come on, kid. The truck's waiting. It'll only hurt a minute. Grab his feet, Joe. No! Leave me. Go ahead. Just leave ammunition here. Now go. Get out of here. Okay, kid, if that's the way you want it. We'll leave you with both automatic rifles. Let's go, men. Here, Harold. Here's Tony's body of Chianti. Guzzle it down. Make things easier. Good luck. Harold Parks, Super BAR man of the 2nd Platoon, 1st Squad. What am I doing here? Why ain't I back in Wisconsin with the folks and Jeannie? Guess how much to live for? Drink. I'll drink Tony's wine. Bah, what's the use of that? I gotta think clearly. The boys are running down the hill. I gotta give them rear guard protection. This is like a book I once read. What did it say? No man is an island in himself. Every man is part of the whole. Here they come. They're climbing the hill from 2 sides. I'll wait till they get real close before I fire. The end. My heart was pounding like a trip hammer. They were visible now. Tiny figures moving slowly towards our position. Chinese communists. Hundreds of them. We were southeast of Seoul, in the old world, war-type trenches. I pressed a clip of ammunition into my M1, slammed home the breech, and waited for the enemy assault. The sky was overcast and we didn't have any air support. High overhead, artillery shells hurtled through the air with a sound like tearing paper and then exploding far ahead in little puffs of smoke. But still they came on, creeping over the frozen Korean ground. You want to know if a man is scared? Ask him to spit. The inside of my mouth was bone dry. Soon they'd be within rifle range. Toy figures in padded overcoats. Each one looked just like the next, like 10 soldiers at the 5 and 10, and each one armed with a deadly rifle or a machine gun. Now they were in range, running low and bent over, darting from one hillock to the next, moving from cover to cover, ever closer. I aimed, allowed for wind and distance, and held my breath and squeezed. Bam! Bam! Ping! Bam! Pow! Pang! They came like locusts. When one went down, two popped up to take his place. Nameless, faceless men moving as resolutely as the tide. They came on the left flank. They came on the right flank. They overwhelmed us. One of them rose over me. I saw him aim his gun at my head, and I saw him pull the trigger at the same time I triggered my Garand. Bam, 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 bam! I don't know how long I lay there unconscious, but when I woke up, it was dead quiet. The body of the enemy soldier who'd shot me was laying across my chest. I guess I'd gotten him worse than he had me. Oh, my head. What pain. I must be shot in the head. Oh. My helmet. Bullets must have tipped my helmet. What a mess. Oh, my head. Where is everybody? I'm not alive here. Hey, where is everybody? All dead. Where are my buddies? Am I behind the lines or in front? All dead. All dead. Further down the trench. Must be someone alive further down the trench. Oh, my head. All dead here too? Huh? Around the elbow in the trench, I came face to face with him, a wounded communist soldier. I guess we were both in bad shape, because we both froze like ice and stood with our mouths hanging open. I had my rifle on him, and he had his pistol on me. I don't know why, but I had the notion that I'd take him prisoner, and he was probably thinking the same thing. So there we stood. Put down that gun. My men are all around here, and I'm taking you prisoner. No, American. It is I who have captured you. You are the prisoner. So, you speak English. Now listen, you're in the United Nations territory, and you'll never get out of here alive unless you surrender. And you pull that trigger, I'll shoot you at the same time. Now hand me that pistol. American, you're wrong. The Chinese People's Army controls this territory. You'd be wise to put down your rifle now. My soldiers will be along in a moment. So there we stood, guns pointed at each other, both ready to fire at the other the moment he made a false move. For a minute, I felt like a kid playing cops and robbers. Okay, we'll wait and see who comes along first. Very well. By the way, where'd you learn to speak English? From you Americans. I worked as a houseboy for an American in Hong Kong. This American shipped tea to the U.S. Many times he would go to the U.S. for a summer vacation with family. I would accompany him. Many summers I have been in New York as houseboy. New York? No kidding. I lived there. I went to college in New York. Still remember, Radio City, Empire State Building, 5th Avenue. What do you know? Where did you work in New York? My boss lived on Riverside Drive near 110th Street. Had a nice house. No kidding. I went to Columbia University, 116th Street, 1 block from Riverside Drive. I rented a room right on 114th. That was a nice neighborhood. I wanted to marry a girl back in Hong Kong. Work for myself. I married, left Exporter, and bought a big farm near Canton. Then they took me into the Army. See, here's a picture of my wife and my child. My wife and I have a kid just about that age. Here, let me show you. It was ridiculous. Here I was in the middle of a war comparing photographs of babies with an enemy soldier. Just a while back, I must have watched him, one of the 100 tiny automaton, advancing across the field. But he wasn't an automaton. He was a living, breathing human being with a wife and children and hopes and plans just like me. Why should he want to kill me? Or me, him? For a while, I had forgotten the war existed. But it was there. To the north of us, the communists were regrouping for another assault. To the south, the UN forces were preparing a surprise counterattack. Let's go, platoon! Once more the battle swirled about the trench. A group of Chinese communists loomed above the lip of the trench in front of us. One aimed his gun at me. Before he could fire, Americans charging up the back of us cut him down. The man in the trench with me now gripped his pistol. American leaped into the trench, and the pistol brought him down. I then knew what I must do. I had to choose sides. I had to. You can't fight a war by comparing baby snapshots. Wham, 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 wham! Nice shooting, soldier. The beggar would have got me for sure if not for your quick shooting. All right, men. We re-won the trench, but don't relax. They'll be coming over the ridge again. Tiny figures were moving across the frozen Korean fields towards our position. I rammed another clip into the breech of my M1 and waited for the next enemy assault. The end. The fatal step. Corporal Judd Harkabus kicked up a powdery spray of snow as he plodded through the strip of woods that edged the Chambord St. Vith road. He was intent on his advanced scouting mission for the American Armored Division that rumbled along just a few miles behind him. Harkabus held his M1 in a ready position. There was no telling when he would blunder into a mound of snow, which in reality was a white-surrounded German. Suddenly his alert eyes rested on the snow-laden branch of a nearby fir tree. The branch had moved momentarily, sending a flurry of snowflakes to the ground. Then a tiny telltale tendril of vapor curled through the branches of the tree. Harkabus knew that it only could mean a human had exhaled a suppressed breath into the chill air. Instantly he swung his rifle in line with the tree and fired without aiming. As the report reverberated through the forest stillness, a white-caped German fell to the ground at the base of the tree. Harkabus wrenched the Luger from the wounded German's holster, at the same time ripping off the blood-soaked cape. He proceeded to search the German's pockets. He found a few mine-detonating fuses, a coil of wire, and a pair of pliers. Meanwhile, the pain-racked Nazi had braced his back against the tree and was packing snow on his bullet-shattered arm in a vain effort to stop the blood. Harkabus wondered if there were any more Germans lurking in the trees. Surely, if they had heard the shot, they'd have been at his throat by now. He stared into the pallid face before him. The German was a mere youth, no older than 17. Hitler was even throwing young kids into the Battle of the Bulge. The boy had his hand clamped tightly over his wound, but the blood continued to trickle through his fingers. His forced speech came in thick phrases. Die Wunde blutet weiter. Ripping a piece of cloth from the discarded cape, Harkabus wound the improvised tourniquet around the boy's arm. The color crept into the boy's blanched cheeks as he continued to release and tighten the tourniquet at 10-minute intervals. Finally, the flow of blood was checked. Harkabus tore a clean strip of cloth and bandaged the arm. He propped the German against the tree, picked up his M1, and threw a hasty "Auf Wiedersehen," spoken in cornbread Kansan, over his shoulder in farewell. As he picked his way through the trees in the direction of the road, the boy called after him excitedly. Komm zurück, Amerikaner. Der Weg ist weiter Menen. Komm zurück, komm. You'll be all right, kid. Just relax. Harkabus placated as he continued through the snow. The voice shouts became more insistent. Der Weg ist weiter Menen. Amerikaner, meinen, my... Harkabus had already stepped out of the trees and onto the road. German efforts to warn him of the impending danger had been futile. He did not understand the boy's feverish and incoherent jargon. The boy shivered as he heard a landmine go off. He knew Harkabus had taken the final step. 1918. The First World War. The ugly granddaddy of the world wars. In September of that year, the Allies of the Meuse-Argonne Front were readying an offensive that would break the German back. Somewhere south of Bozanki, behind the front, the commander of a battery of howitzers was trying to contact his observation post, but as yet no answer had come from the OP. Just a brief interlude here, folks. How you enjoying the show? Is this working for you? Did you like this episode so far? If so, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know. Let me know how I'm doing. Hello? Hello? OP? Is everything alright? From the phone in the officer's hand, a wire stretched out across the broken ground, and if you'd follow it, it would lead you towards the macabre horizon, silent but for the occasional stutter of a machine gun or the crack of a sniping rifle. It would lead you towards an early morning landscape out of hell, fitfully lit by the very pistol rockets and threaded by a network of trenches. Hello? Hello? OP? Doesn't seem to be anything happening. Hello there. Lieutenant on the wire, sir. Tell him nothing doing yet. Matter of fact, it's so quiet you can hardly hear there's a war on. Wonder if the infantrymen on that front line trench up there feel the same way. While we relax here in the secondary trench, looking through the periscope and talking on the phone, those poor devils really catch it. This isn't much of a trench, though. Full of weeds and bones, hadn't been used for some time. It's a jerry trench, you know. We captured it last month. Hello, OP? Hello, OP? Anything going on out there? No, nothing. Yet, sir. Wait. Look! Cannon flashes on the horizon. Looks like the Baki guns are starting up. Wonder if there'll be an attack. Duck, man, it's a whiz bang! It hit down trench. Let's get out of here. They got this fucking trench zeroed. Oh, hello, OP. Is everything all right? What's happening? Oh, square hit. All dead. You all right? Don't know yet, Lieutenant. OP crew's blown to bits. Hold on. Something's digging through the side of the trench. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I must be out of my mind. Germans coming out of a hole in the trench. Dozens of German soldiers. I'll play dead. I won't breathe. They won't discover me. Dozens of them. They must have tunneled under our lines, I know. This is an old German trench. They must have had connecting tunnels built a long time ago. Now they're coming up behind our frontline trench. Our boys will be slaughtered. Hello? Hello, in the OP. God, why doesn't this phone keep still? They'll hear it. I mustn't make a sound. Are you alright up there? Germans. They'll attack at any moment. I must warn the battery. Perhaps if I whisper. Hello, Lieutenant. Listen carefully. Zero the guns on this observation post and fire one. Are you out of your mind up there? You want me to fire at you behind our own front trenches? God in heaven, Lieutenant. There's no time to argue. Follow my instructions and don't ask questions. Fire one at this OP. Very well, here it comes. 3,100 yards. One, fire. Too short. Raise 200. Drop 110 minutes left. Blam! Now give her a whole battery salvo. Wham, 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 wham! Womp, pop, 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 pop. Hello? Hello, OP? Hello? OP, answer. OP, can you answer? Hello? And all it is a phone with a hand. The end. Go back to 1942. You are now in the North Sea. The North Sea crisscrossed by invisible sea routes, crisscrossed by lifelines over which ships carry troops, guns, tanks, shells, war equipment to fight the Nazis. And now go under the sea. Go down, down. 400 feet down. Go to the bottom of the North Sea. Even there are signs of the war. The hulks of sunken ships, the bones of sailors. Now look over there, resting on the ocean floor. You can barely make it out. A ship? A machine? Unterseeboot 113. Pass your eyes over this mechanism. See in the sleek front end, a set of clean round holes in the snout. Torpedo tubes. Look along the bare, narrow deck, past the single capstan. See the neat deck gun, rust-proof, oiled and ready. Now further back along the cigar-shaped hull, a stubby, knife-edged conning tower. Take a look, reader, at a German submarine. U-113. And now the silent U-boat springs to life. Capitan Kurt Klug, Prussian-born commander of the vessel, barks precise commands. The boat is rigged for surfacing and taking on supplies. The water is blown out of the main ballast and bow buoyancy tanks, and the undersea boat rises to the surface. I picked up the sound of the supply ship, Capitan. Thank you, Funk. We're on schedule. Our compartment's prepared to surface. God is a dank. It would be good to see daylight instead of red electric light. Stand by the fuel pumps. Open the torpedo loading hatch. Snell! What is the matter with the Dummkopf? Why are they swinging around, Oberlieutenant? Signal them on the flasher and heave-ho. Something is wrong there, Captain Ton. They are manning their stern gun. Bam! Donnerwetter, that is an English tanker. Battle stations for surface engagement. We'll blow her out of the water with her 5-inch gun. Boom! Wham! Boom! Got her on the second shot. Norquay! Donnerwetter, those tankers burn like a candle. They must have been loaded with gasoline. Don't you think, sir? Ja, and I've gone in a moment. Not a trace of a survivor left. That's a good day's work. Eh, Lieutenant Schultz? One ship with 2 shells. But we cannot watch the fireworks display too long. The smoke column will surely attract attention, and I'm sure the tanker is radioed for air. Captain Klug! British patrol bomber! Crash dive! Clear the bridge! Rig for depth charges! Bap, 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 bap! Flood the tanks! Schnell! Tauchen! Captain Klug, all the men are below, sir. Are you all right, sir? Ein Augenblick, Lieutenant. Torpedo loading hatch hasn't been shut. Da gut. Bang! Whoom! Verdammter, Englander. Mach schnell, mein Captain. You'll not make it. Captain, I've got to close the hatch. Wait, what they are for me, Schultz? Clang. Boom! Captain Klug leaps free of the undertow, and soon he finds himself puddling around on top of the North Sea, while his Unterseeboot is somewhere on the bottom of the North Sea. But Captain Klug's face shows little emotion, one way or the other. Captain Klug is a blue-blooded Prussian. Captain Klug is a soldier. Captain Klug has a divine sense of Prussian invincibility. He knows a ship will come, and a ship does come. A nimble British destroyer. Boom! Boom! There's a man on the water, sir, off to port bow. He's one of the poor beggars from the tanker that radioed us. Heave to, we'll pick him up. Lively at that sounding device, sailor. We're stopping, and we wouldn't want to be a sitting duck for a Jerry sub. Beneath the hull, a T-shaped antenna slowly revolves, listening for the throb of a motor. We're close in now, Alfie. Heed the line. Be quick about it. Hey, you dropped it a bit too short. All right, fellow, swim for it. Almost there now. Hurry it up. Jerry sub's liable to tag us any minute. 1 mile west and part of a mile straight down, a slim, murky shape rests lightly on the muddy bottom of the ocean. It lays so still that it attracts no attention from a passing school of herring, but as we watch, it begins to tremble. Oh, so slightly, and now it stirs. Its snout slides forward, rises away from the floor of the sea, and its tail churns up a great cloud of silt and mud. Like a monstrous shark, it rises, and now we see its familiar silhouette, and now we recognize the numbers on the side. Captain Klug's submarine. Its snout slides forward, rises away from the floor of the sea, and its tail churns up a great cloud of silt and mud. Like a monstrous shark, it rises, and now we see its familiar silhouette, and now we recognize it. Captain Klug's submarine. Submarine, full speed ahead. Full left rudder. Condition red. Clang, clang. Full speed it is, sir. What is this? Mein halt, where last is Mike? Poor devil, we can't stop here while U-boats in the vicinity. And just when we almost had it. We are leaving with the British destroyer. Captain Klug, the invincible Prussian commander, is being left far behind, and because of his own U-boat. He is now like a tiny cork bobbing on the sea, almost out of sight. Look carefully, dear reader. It is the last look any mortal will get of the commander of the U-113. That's a wrap on this battlefield briefing, troops. Felix Lubezki signing off from SL tonight after breaching Frontline Combat, issue number 1. If these EC stories aren't just ink, they're lessons from the front lines. If you survived this, hit subscribe, drop a comment on your favorite kill shot, and gear up for the next time with Two-Fisted Tales, issue number 22. Dismissed!